I've never actually accomplished any target that I ever had. In fact, I've said many, many times, I have never 10x any of my goals.
Grant Cardone, billionaire CEO of Cardone Enterprises and Cardone Capital, and the sales and real estate legend behind the 10x movement.
You have to learn how to do stuff you don't like. Whatever it is you don't want to do it. And do it as fast as you possibly can and get it over with, and you're going to build confidence.
Looking back at your 30s, mindset-wise, what would you be telling yourself?
I would have hung around different people. I would have lived in a different place. I would have moved to New York City. It would be so different. My whole world would be different.
How do you stay motivated if you've never achieving your 10x goals?
I've achieved everything I wrote in that book, The 10X Rule, but before I achieved it, I had already moved the bar again.
Talk to us about building trust online and the ways that you do it.
There's only one way and no shortcuts. It is true.
Young and profiters. Massive success doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from thinking 10x bigger and taking 10x action. Today, I'm sitting down with the incredible Grant Cardone, billionaire CEO of Cardone Enterprises and Cardone Capital, and the sales and real estate legend behind the 10x movement. Grant is back on YAP for round 2, and this time we're diving into what really matters, the mindset shifts that separate winners from everyone else, his sales techniques that can close any deal, and how Grant leveraged his personal brand to build a billion-dollar empire. This episode is your motivation to stop thinking small and start scaling big. And YouTube gang, I'd love to hear your comments below. What is one area of your life you're ready to 10x today? And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on episodes like this. Grant, welcome to Young and Profiting Podcast.
You mean welcome back?
Yeah, welcome back. I interviewed you a year and a half ago, and that conversation was awesome. It was a super highly downloaded episode, and we really went into real estate. We talked about your super inspiring come-up story. We talked about the economy. And so today I want to keep it super fresh, and I want to just dive right in. So are you ready to go, Grant?
I'm always ready. I stay ready.
I know you stay ready. So first, let's just warm our audience up and talk about 10x, because I really want to get into mindset for the start of this conversation. So 10x has really become part of the language of entrepreneurship. Everybody is let's 10x this, let's 10x that. Yeah. We always talk about it, but you're really the one who, started this whole movement. So in your own words, what is 10x, and how do you feel like people get it right and people get it wrong when they're just using it?
Yeah, well, that's
a
great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. But 10x is basically an arbitrary concept based on where to set a target or a goal. And the premise is that people underestimate what they can do. I think most people agree that they underestimate. I've been fortunately with some extremely successful people many, many times, hundreds of times more financially successful, at least with their company and the size of their companies than I am. And I always ask them that question, did you underestimate where you could go? And they're like, oh yeah, 100%. I said, if you were starting over again, would the goals be bigger? And they're like, yeah, 10x bigger. You hear that, I hear that literally, and they're like, oh, I just said 10x. But some of them are 100x, 1000x. So the premise was, when you're setting targets, typically somebody's setting goals or targets when they're not satisfied in life. Why else would you set a target? Mm-hmm. And so you're like, okay, where do I want to go? You're not satisfied with where you are. And then you're going to base your destination, that target, on kind of how much weight you can lift now, or how well you can ride now, or whatever your existing skill set is. You're going to base where you can go based on what you have available to you to imagine with. That's your assets, your deficits, the money you have, the friends, the connections, etc. So you're probably going to limit how far you could go. So the 10x concept is, you basically, and this is what people get wrong, you take whatever your target is and just simply multiply it times 10. It's a ridiculous thing, right? I want $10 million. Okay, well, if you want 10, which is probably ridiculous, why don't you just multiply times 10, make it 100, and then create your plan? Mm. Now, where people get it really wrong is where they're like, oh, 10x isn't real, and how can you 10x? Well, you can't, okay? I never said you could. In fact, I've said many, many times in many interviews, I have never 10x any of my goals. Mm. I've never actually accomplished any target that I ever had. because by the time I move from 1X to 2X to 4X to 6X, somewhere along there, I'm going to move the goal again anyway. So I never actually get to 10X. I've achieved everything I wrote in that book, the 10X rule, but before I achieved it, I had already moved the bar again.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second, because I've interviewed, you may have heard of him, Benjamin Hardy, a bunch of times, and he talks about this concept of the gap and the gain. And one of the things he says about entrepreneurship is like, it's really tough because you're always moving the goalposts. And because of that, you're always in the gap. And you might feel bad and like be discouraged because you're never where you want to be because the goalpost is always moving. But if you're looking back at your progress, you can be in a better mindset. So how do you stay, motivated if you've never achieving your 10X goals?
Yeah, because and I agree with that about the gap. But the gap is where, it's the struggle, it's the hustle, it's the achievement, it's the discovery. It's the curiosity about what lies at the next place, as opposed to I'm satisfied with where I'm at. And I know this guy that was with a Fortune 100 company, very successful dude. He ran T-Mobile, actually. And me and John used to have these just crazy arguments. And he had retired. And I said, John, you need to go back and get a job, bro. Like, you're in the gap, but with no place to go. You're in the gap. You're in the middle valley, and you're trying to make sense of the valley, and you're trying to somehow relive what you did, and nobody can. The past is the past, and no matter how good the past is or how bad it is, it's the past, and it's never going to make you feel better. You could have had a yacht and had a plane and had a marriage and had the kids, but the discovery and the curiosity and the real happiness is in the next thing. It's not in the thing you've accomplished. Now, how do you become, happy and not always, reaching for more, like I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know that I'm even, happy is not a thing I'm looking for, though. I'm looking for the potential, the seeking, the searching. That's what I'm interested in. So I'm not interested in the lazy boy or the hammock and talk about what I did and how great I was. But I am interested in discovering how great I can be, if I can be.
And part of that, I think, is really passion, obsession, and you talk about this concept of feeding the beast. You're saying you got to feed the beast. So talk to us about that.
Well, the beast is not always a good thing. It's whatever you guys think the beast is, right? Like typically the beast is a dark character. He or she. I think it would probably be more male than female. It would be angry. It had the potential to be angry, to destroy things, to conquer, to be nasty, to be filthy, to be dirty. Like you guys, everybody wants this success thing without all the sweat and the blood and the tears. And it's not coming. At least it didn't come to me like that. It's very difficult. My life has been extremely difficult, even today, regardless of what plane I'm flying on. Bro, it's like, you got to unleash the beast. I was telling my daughter yesterday, I said, look, I need you on the phone. And she's 16. And she's like, that's the part of the job I hate. She wants to work with me. She's like, I don't like that part. I said, hey, bro, like you have to learn how to do stuff you don't like. And, when you're in a fight or an argument, the guy I brought up just a few minutes ago, we ended up in this nasty battle. And rather than resisting it, I leaned into it. I said, embrace the beast, bro. Like, embrace the problem. Like, you have to lean into the situation and see if you can actually like learn, if people could just learn how to enjoy the taste of struggle. And then you'll end up equipping yourself with a superpower that most people, they'll never ever even consider trying to learn about. And the only way to learn this, you can't read about it. You can't download it from ChatGPT. The only way to, to learn that part of yourself is to like really become aware of yourself and spend time with it.
Yeah. That reminds me of a quote from Elon Musk. He says, entrepreneurship is like staring into the abyss and chewing glass.
Yeah.
Like basically like it's just chewing. You don't want to chew glass, and you also don't know what's going to happen next, but you got to chew glass so that you could keep going. And sometimes entrepreneurship is not just all like the fun stuff. You got to do the hard
it's
stuff.
Not all looking good and hair and makeup.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of my listeners are in their, early 30s, and you were once a young man.
Hey, stop that.
You are still a young man, but I mean, like looking back at your 30s, right? Looking back at your 30s, mindset wise, what would you be telling yourself in terms of like, what are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? And, thinking about everybody tuning in right now.
Yeah. I mean, I made so many mistakes in my 30s. I was chasing women around all over the country. That was a mistake. I had nothing to offer them. And I really thought another person was going to somehow fill me up and make me satisfied. And number two, I was thinking wrong. I was thinking so small the whole time. If I was today where, if you could take me today and reverse me 37 years, man, it would be so different. My whole world would be different. I bought a house when I was 28. I wouldn't have done that. My whole life would be different if I had a different mindset. I would have hung around different people. I would have lived in a different place. I would have moved to New York City. I would have got around big money. I would have got around big flows of money. I would not have done what I was doing. I would not have done what I was good at. I would have done what had the biggest, most giant payoff. That's if I was 30. If I was 20, I wouldn't have gone to college and I wouldn't have used any drugs. So yeah, I have many, many regrets. Frank Sinatra said he only had a few. I have many, many regrets.
Well, Grant, I think you're worth like $600 million. So like, how much better could it be? Like, how much better do you think it could be?
You cut me by a third, by the way.
Oh, really? How are you a billionaire yet?
Oh yeah, more than that.
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah, the internet never keeps up with it.
I know. It was a dangerous thing for me to even like throw out there.
Yeah. But anyway, like nobody can actually know what somebody's net worth is without knowing what their assets are. So
yeah. But like, how much bigger? I guess the question really is like,
I'd be worth $18 billion today. I'd be worth 10 times what I'm worth today. I'd be worth at least 18. I'd be maybe 50 billion, because I would have done so many things different. I would. In my 30s, all I was doing was working for income. I was working for money. I was trying to get a paycheck, and I was in the wrong job. I owned my own business. It was the wrong business. It was making money. It was making a couple $1 million a year, but it was the wrong business. It was not an exable business. It was not scalable, but I was making $2 million a year. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know anybody that made that much money.
Yeah.
But it was the wrong business. I should have been in a business when I was 31 years old. I should have been in New York trading stocks. I'd probably run JP Morgan right now.
Yeah. But don't you feel like it was those experiences that helped you become who you... No. Okay.
No.
So interesting.
Bullshit. It's a bullshit story. Oh my God, I was a drug addict for 10 years and everybody's like, oh yeah, that made you who you are. No, it didn't. Okay. That was a deport. That I departed from the path of who I was. Okay. These mistakes that people make does not make you who you are. You were a person before you made the mistakes. And it basically was an exit off of who I am, and it derailed me. And you shouldn't make sense of nonsense, because that was nonsense. And the bad choices I made when I was a kid, those were poor choices. When I was 30 and I chose to live in Houston, Texas, because I was comfortable, I should not have lived there. I should have moved to places where there was opportunity. I just didn't know. I'm not blaming it all on me. I just didn't have access to I can't even say that though, because I could read the Wall Street Journal. Nobody from Lake Charles, Louisiana was in the Wall Street Journal. I could have been studying those people then. What did they do? Where did they live? Where did they go? What are their jobs? But I wasn't studying that. Fortunately, today with social media and guys like you doing what you do, today, like, people have access to, like, if you want to make a big score, study other people that have made a big score, go do what they do, go where they are, go get as close as you can to that action. Those are things I would do different today.
Yeah, such good advice. I feel like there was so much in there. So I actually interviewed your business partner, Brandon Dawson, a couple weeks ago, and he's really awesome. So I love your partnership that you guys have together. And one of the things that he says—
Brandon's a very smart guy. He's much smarter than I am.
He's so smart. I was so impressed by him when he came on the show. It was the first time he came on. And we were talking a bit about
I always tell him that. I
confidence.
say, Brandon, you're much smarter than I am, but don't confuse intelligence with the outcome.
Yeah. And, you guys are smart and you're both super, super smart and have different talents that really like complement each other. Yeah. So he talks a bit about confidence, like how confidence can multiply your success. When I think of confidence, you were like one of the first people that pop into my mind. And entrepreneurs, they really need to be confident, right? Confidence is really what gets you the sale, in my opinion. Confidence helps you motivate a team. There's so many reasons why we've got to be confident. So what do you think makes you confident, and what can people learn about that?
Well, I mean, I do things. I do a lot of things. I do things that I'm scared of, and that's how you build confidence. So you can't become confident reading or listening to an audiobook or going to a workshop. There is only one way. You got to meet the devil. You got to fight it out with him. And you got to realize that you won the fight, or that you lost the fight. It doesn't really matter whether you win or lose. It does, but it's better to win. But if you get in a fight, I remember I was a kid and I was being intimidated by these kids at school. I was probably 14, 15 years old. And I kept trying to dodge it, man. I kept trying to get away from it. It just kept defeating any confidence I had. And one day I was going to school. I said, I'm going to get in a fight again today. I was going to get beat up, basically. And I changed my shirt because I didn't want to mess up my new shirt. We got one new shirt school season, and I didn't want to mess it up. Changed it, went there, and I fought for my life that day. And I got my ass whooped. But my confidence built because I walked away from that fight saying, okay, he didn't kill me and he's not going to F with me anymore. And nobody did, by the way, because I was going to fight till the end. And so that's what I would tell people, man. You like whatever it is you don't want to do it, and do it as fast as you possibly can and get it over with. And you're going to live through it, and you're going to build confidence. Then if you can do it a second time and a third time, you're going to get better at it. And if you don't quit, you're going to start winning. At the end of the day, winning is the confidence.
Yeah.
It's not just the doing. You have to do and win. So otherwise you're stupid. Like why are you going to keep getting in fights and you can't win? You got to find something you can win at. And even if they're little tiny wins, get a tiny win, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger win, until you can 10x your wins.
Yeah. So something that I've noticed is that you seem to be aging backwards, right? So 10x Health is—
You were just calling me old man a few minutes ago.
I was not. I just phrased the question poorly. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
But so you look incredible, and I know that you're really into health, and you've got 10x Health, and
right here, got it right next to me right now.
Yep. Talk to us about 10x Health. I know it's like a new thing or newer thing that you're doing, and just curious in terms of like, what are you doing for your health? That's a huge part of confidence, your physical appearance. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think that is too, by the way, how somebody looks and how they feel is very, very important to the confidence that you have. And, if your body's hurting, you're going to have attention on your body and that you're breaking down. I mean, you're being reminded, whether it's a headache you have or knees that hurt or back or whatever the problem is. By the way, I had more pain problems in my 20s and 30s than I do today at 67. So you don't have to age and hurt, and you don't have to age and look old. You're going to look older. But 10x Health is a company. We bought this company about 5 years ago. It was actually just out of COVID. And I think COVID woke up the whole world that the medical community maybe doesn't want us to know everything there is to know about what we can do to take care of ourselves. I've never trusted these people with medicines. I'm on none. I have 0 medicines that I'm on today. Our kids have not been vaccinated. I guess I had some kind of vaccine when I was a kid. I wouldn't do that again. But I think that whole COVID thing and the mandating of the vaccines really woke people up. And then we bought a company called Streamline, I think was the name of it. It had about 60 customers. And we got into the business of providing people with alternative solutions, red light therapy beds, electronic mats, hydro waters. We have partnerships in 38 countries now with 10X Health System, about 260,000 customers on our genetic test and supplements. And, I don't sell these products. I use these products. So it's exactly what I use to take care of myself, get my blood checked 4 times a year. And I do whatever I can to make sure that I have the energy and the focus and pain-free possible as I can be, so I can create and contribute to both my life, my kids, my wife, and we can have a great life together. And I can also, give to my customers.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think about like age in 2025? Like, do you feel, I feel like we're getting into this place in the world where like biological age or like chronological age is going to become less and less relevant. Like I go out and I see, you can't tell the difference between 20 and 40-year-olds anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I go back and forth between, okay, how long can a person actually live, before the bones? Look, you need bones, and you need muscle. You have to have them. If you don't take care of your bones and your muscle, you're going to have problems. So then you got to take care of your diet. Everybody knows that. Our food system's completely contaminated. You can go to France and watch people smoking cigarettes and drinking all day, and they still look better than we do. And they're outliving us, by the way. So it's not the cigarettes and it's not the alcohol. It's the food. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what changes. I know that I'm going to probably be working until I'm going to work until I can't work.
Yeah.
And when I can't work, I'm going to be doing deals because I like doing deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My career has lasted 47 years. No, since I was 25. So 52 years. I've been doing business deals since I was 25 years old. And I'll be able to do them as long as I can think clearly, make a good decision.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about decisions. That was actually some of the questions that I was going to go over. So I want to move into like a couple questions about decisions, and then I want to talk about your personal brand and things like that. So talk to us about how you make decisions. Are you somebody who's more like data-driven? Are you following your gut? Are you trying to like pull your team? Like how do you make your decisions for your business?
I intuitively know what I want to do, right? There's certain things that I'm going through probably the biggest decision I've ever made in my life here. It will happen in the next 90 days. I was just on the phone with the bankers today, and they want me 6 different banks and 2 super successful guys are all saying, go this way. And I'm inclined to say, that's not the way for me. Now I got to be very careful because it's a bunch of seriously intelligent people, but there's things they don't know about me, my brand, my purpose, my gifts, and the things that I am super, super passionate about making go right, and the confidence I have in myself to make it go right, despite what these institutions are telling me is the right way to do it. But I've done this in legal matters, litigation issues, starting a business. Me and Brandon are completely different decision maker types. Mm. When I find a piece of real estate that I love, I know I'm buying it. Now I got to make sense of the numbers. So I got to bang the seller until I can make sense of the numbers. I'm not going to do anything stupid, but once I lock in, I want this. Now I figure out, okay, how do I make this work? I'm not a reckless person, but I can move extremely fast at making decisions. I mean, very, very fast, like almost instantly. Then it's okay, make it work now that you made a decision. So it's almost 2 separate kind of conversations. I see a lot of people make decisions. They take a long time to make the decision and then still don't make it work. Mm. Some of the best decisions I've made have been instant with no due diligence.
Yeah.
But I must have had some data That is the due diligence. I know something about something. I remember one day I was in a car and thought about this person, and I'm like, I need to call this person right now. And I did. I trust myself that if I get a signal, I'm calling. I don't know why I'm calling them. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm going to be there. I called him and boom, something happened. Something magical happened.
Yeah.
And so, you got to trust yourself. I think you're really talking about trust here. And those people that need the most data probably have the least amount of trust in themselves.
Yeah, so true.
And let me just add one other thing to that, because I know you help a lot of salespeople. You guys, when you're buying something, it is very important to learn how to buy fast. Because if you're a seller, if you're trying to sell your goods and services, if you buy slow, you'll sell slow. You sell the way you buy. So how you do something, like I was with a executive, we were looking at hiring this guy in our company, and we went to dinner. He looked at the menu. I sat down. I said, "What's the best thing here?" The guy said, "I'll get the T-bone." I said, "What's the best? Second to the T-bone. Get the ribeye." I said, "Great. Send me the ribeye, medium rare." It took 30 seconds to order. This guy's still reading. I said, "Bro, how much time you need?" He's like, "Well, I want to see." I said, "You knew we were coming to this restaurant. You knew it was a steak restaurant. You've been here before, by the way. You recommended it. You got here, you sat down, you've looked at the menu, and you still don't know what you want. I've never been here, and I've already ordered." So we didn't hire him as an executive, by the way, because he can't make a decision.
Yeah. You got to move fast, and it's okay if you make mistakes, but sometimes moving slow is a mistake in itself. Like people take
and if
so
you
long.
ask everybody else what you should eat, you're never going to be sure about anything.
Okay, so let's talk about sales for a bit, because I feel like one of the things that you're extremely good at is closing, sales in general. And so you've been selling since you were 25. I want to warm up with a question personally. What's the hardest thing you ever had to sell?
Probably my wife. Because she didn't want anything to do with me. I mean, I've had a lot of hard sales. Like the hardest thing I've ever had to sell, physical product. Yeah, so everything was hard to sell. I mean, there's no easy sales, right? Because if it's an easy sale, then everybody's going to buy it, and you don't have anything left to sell, and then you have to go sell something else. So, I don't know that there's an easy sale, because again, by the time it's easy, it's gone. So then you got to sell something else. So, I mean, I've sold shoes, I've sold clothes, I've sold fish, I've sold accounting services, I've sold businesses, real estate, rent here. I've sold, selling people on a TV show. I have not been successful selling a TV show.
I was talking to this guy. He's the host of Bigger Pockets. It's like some really big show.
Brandon Turner.
His name's Scott. So it's Bigger Pockets Money.
Okay.
And he was like the CEO of Bigger Pockets for a while. And he was asking me, like, what do I do for a personal investment? And my answer was sales. I was like, I just grow my business. I just invest in myself. I have stocks and stuff, but I don't really pay that much attention to it. Like, I'm just way more about, how do I expand my business? How do I get more customers? Yeah. And to me, I would just rather make money than save $1. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, one is I think you're focused on income, right? You're investing in you. The best investment anybody can make is in themselves. Like, nobody can depreciate it. It can't be taxed. When you get 2 times better or 10 times better, the government can't steal you away. That is the best investment in the world, way better than a stock or he probably didn't understand it, but I understand what you're saying completely. Like, there's no piece of real estate anywhere in the world or no crypto that's more valuable than you are. You're the most limited, unique, scarce individual on the planet. So there'll never be another one of you. So why not invest in you? So I like that. But saving money is impossible. People shouldn't even think about saving money. You can't save money. You leave it at the bank and they reinvest it. but they're not even saving it. So yeah, I think there's 3 things people should invest in. One is themselves. And in the beginning, you should just keep dropping quarters or dollars into yourself until something happens to where more money's coming in. More money should come in from the investments you made in yourself. If not, you're going to the wrong thing or studying the wrong thing. And then the second thing you should invest in is whatever your brand is, your company. That's different than you, the individual, I think. Your products, your inventory, et cetera. And the third thing would be pick one thing, and that would be that thing you diversify from yourself. And there would only be one other thing that you would invest in until you're wealthy. And then you might diversify, but not until you're wealthy.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Those rules of thumb. Let's do a little game called Cardone Close. So I'm going to say a line like somebody gave you an objection. Okay. I'll say an objection. And then you say how you would respond to it.
Okay.
Okay. It's too expensive right now.
Well, of course it is. I mean, that's why you came here. I mean, everybody knows this is too expensive. Tell me the truth. Let's say it's a watch. It's this watch right here, okay? You looked at the watch. The watch is $58,000. Now, you knew this when you saw it in the magazine, that it was $58,000, and you still came to look at it. But let me show you what's really expensive. And then I'm going to show them a watch that's probably 10 times that price at $580. And something in between at $125. And then I'm going to congratulate them for, having such great taste in watches and ask them Visa, MasterCard, or American Express.
And why compliment them like that?
Well, because they knew it was expensive. You walk into a Chanel store. Oh my God, it's so expensive. I know, I'm with you. You're lucky that we even have one available. I'm not going to negate the fact that it's expensive. If it's expensive, it's expensive, and you should say so, right? So some people will only buy expensive things.
Yeah.
By the way, I can show you something cheaper. I just didn't think that that's what you were interested in.
Love that. Okay. Let me talk. I need to talk to my spouse.
Great. And I'm sure if you're like me, you talk to your spouse about everything, right? So he would then know that you're here right now. You would have talked to him this morning and said, I'm going to see Grant today at the BMW store. And I'm going to look at a 7 Series. If you guys talk about everything, you talked to him before you came here. This is not a surprise. Unless you don't talk to him about everything. Which one is it? No, we've been talking about, okay, good. So when you go back tonight and talk to him about the car, what are you going to tell him? You're going to tell him the price. You're going to tell him the payment. You're going to tell him what it looks like. Probably going to show him a picture. And what's he going to say? What's he going to say? Let's say he says, you're not answering any questions, by the way. I don't need you to. These are all rhetorical. I'm having the conversation as you and me. Okay. So let's just say he says, you can't do it. Hala, no. It's the wrong color, the wrong price, the wrong payment. But you can't do it. What are you going to say to him?
You want me to say, I can make my own decisions. I want this car.
Good. So see, what I'm doing is I'm flushing the objection out that he's going to have, or I'm going to find out that it's not even real. In fact, you're probably going to say, look, I'm going to buy the car anyway. And maybe I get closer to closing a deal.
Okay. It sounds good, but I just need to think about it more.
Good. Great. How much time would you think would be long enough for you to think about it?
Just, a week or so.
Good. In a week or so, let's just pretend, let's play a little game here. A week or so from now, are you going to be thinking about the price, the payments, the product, how you're going to pay for it? What are you going to be thinking about?
I got to evaluate everything.
Good. So if you were to make that decision right now, what would you say about the price?
It's a little high.
It is. I agree with you. It's a little high. Okay. But would that keep you from buying it?
No, I can afford it. It's just a lot.
Okay, good. I understand. What about the payments? Let's assume there's payments on this.
I could make the payments.
The payments are good. So I'm going to check off. It's a little high, but you could do it. And the payments. And we're a week and a half from now. So it's not even something you're doing right now, okay? The product itself, does it solve your problems?
Yeah.
Okay, you're certain it solves every problem that you're concerned about?
Well, that's what I need to think about.
Okay. Well, what other problem would you like it to solve for you that you're not sure about?
I'm just not sure it's going to scale with me.
It's not going to scale with you. Okay. Meaning what? I'm a little confused on that.
Well, we got to figure out what we're buying, but it's not, I feel like it's not going to scale with my, like I might outgrow it.
Okay. So you need more than one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So really this isn't about too high or the payments or the product. It's really about, you need what? If you had 10, would that be enough? See, we might have an opportunity right here to find out that we're underselling this person.
Mm.
By the way, I'll tell you a story about, I've never done this, by the way. I love this. We should do a show like this.
I would be down.
This is awesome. I've done thousands of podcasts. I've never done this and I love it.
Oh,
but
thank you.
I was doing a charity. I was helping a fundraising event. And this lady came to me. She was a fantastic fundraiser. I mean, she's raised literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And she said, this guy will not give me any money. Mm. And I said, well, what are you asking for? She's like, 25,000. I said, have you considered the possibility that you're not asking for enough? She's like, no, he's cheap. He's cheaper than dirt. He's so cheap. He's rich and he won't give me the money. I said, you mind if I have a few minutes with him? And I sat down with him and I got 250 grand from him. Because he felt like the 25,000 couldn't make a difference in these kids' lives.
Interesting.
But 250.
Yeah, it's so true. People who make a lot, because a lot of I have like a white glove social media podcast agency. And from the start, I had like really high retainers because I have a really great team. We have awesome results. And I've noticed that people that make a lot of money, they want things that, like, if it's too cheap, they'll be like, well, something, that's not good enough for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And some people actually evaluate value based on the price.
Yeah.
So the more it is, the more it must do for you. That old saying about you get what you pay for, I don't know if it's true or not, but for some people, look, you can't really assess value without a price being equated to it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think with sales, it's important for the salesperson to be likable? Do you feel like that's a really big piece of it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very hard to sell somebody that doesn't like you,
Yeah.
I think it can still happen.
Yeah.
It happens at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Walmart.
But like
Amazon.
high ticket sales or like medium ticket sales, do you feel like?
Yeah. I mean, look, I would still buy, I just bought a piece of real estate from a guy I didn't like. It was $235 million. It was a fairly substantial price though. But I didn't like him, but I still bought it from him.
Yeah.
I just killed the deal because I didn't like a guy. Mm-hmm. I didn't like something he did. And now I'm going to punish him for it. And I think buyers do that too. I'm not buying from you. You treated me like this, but that doesn't mean, I think the sellers out there need to understand your job is not to get somebody to like you. Your job is to get somebody to love the product, believe it can solve their problems. And if they like you at the end, great. But I don't think people should be trying to twist off and become whatever version you need me to be. Then I just lose myself. I lose all my power, my self-confidence, because I'm trying to be something that makes you happy. That's the problem with all these trickery sales, like the neurolinguistics. Mm-hmm. You touch your shoulder, I should touch my shoulder, mirroring and all that. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in it. We have 260 salespeople in our company, and I can tell you those guys never work out. They're underperformers. They don't do as well.
Yeah. So what kind of, in terms of like somebody who's in sales, right? For you and me, sales are easy because we're founders, we're CEOs. We know, I can get on a sales call and just I'm one of the biggest influencers on LinkedIn, for example. So I could just say everything I know about LinkedIn, impress them, close the sale, But for a salesperson that works for somebody else, how are they supposed to come on a call, be confident, be likable, or be somebody who people want to give millions of dollars to?
They need to act like you on the call. If I was selling your product, I'd be like, Hala is the number one influencer on LinkedIn. She will never let you down. Her products will not let you down. I will not let her products and her let you down. Her strategies are proven, fortified, they work for everyone. And I personally promise you, this will be the best investment you will make. Now, the issue is whether you're going to sign up for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. It's not if you're going to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Hala's a proven commodity. You're not, no offense. And I'm not. I'm just the conduit. I'm the messenger. So by the way, with the 3 years, with the 3-year commitment and 30% down, I can actually get you a 20-minute call with Hala.
Mm.
Hala, Hala.
So it's like hyping them up. I love that strategy. I never really like thought about that. So it's like basically like using.
I need to channel you.
Yeah.
So my kids, there's 2 videos of my kids. They're one of them was 10 at the time. The other one's more recent. She's 13. They got on the phone and started calling clients. Okay. The 13-year-old never done these phone calls before. I gave her a little script. Hey, Antoine, my name's Scarlett Cardone. I'm calling on behalf of my dad. And there was a question. She sold $28,000 of products in like 3 hours.
That's amazing.
And all the salesmen are like, well, dude, how's she doing this? I said, bro, because it's simple, bro. Like, you guys are explaining the product and she's asking for the close.
Mm.
So most salespeople stay stuck in the sales process and never move to the close asking for the business. And in those objections, when you gave me those objections, I never went back to product. I just stayed in the objection, trying to handle whatever it is you're telling me why you can't make a decision today, by the way, which probably has more to do with you than my product, the offer, the price, or anything. The inability of the customer to trust me is more about you not trusting you than it is you not trusting me.
Mm. So you're trying to get them to make the decision themselves.
I'm trying to get them back to a place where they can trust themselves to make a decision.
Mm.
Like the one where you said, I need to talk to my husband. Well, it wasn't even a real objection because by the time you got to it, you said, no, I'm going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Or the price thing when you said, it's a little high. You didn't say it was impossible. In fact, you later said it was really because I can't scale. I need 10 of these, not one.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably in your head saying 10 times 15,000 is 150. I don't have 150,000, but I have 15. So we might not even have them on the right scale of product in that case.
Yeah, usually the objection, and maybe this could be the last objection, is I don't think it's going to work, or I'm not sure it's going to work for me.
Yeah. Well, you definitely shouldn't buy it if you don't think it's going to work for you.
Mm.
And I wouldn't want you to buy it from me if you didn't think it was going to work for you. So what is it you're concerned won't work? Because the last thing I want you to do is leave here and it doesn't work for you. Like we both lose.
Yeah. And then you might explain.
And then I got to find out I could be on the wrong product.
Mm.
So, by the way, they could say it's too much money. I need to talk to my husband. I got to talk to my accountant just because it's the wrong product. And they don't want to tell you. They just wasted 45 minutes of your time.
Okay, I want to talk about creator entrepreneurship before we go, because you've built this amazing brand. You know, you're crushing it on all the different platforms. You raised money from your community and with your new venture with brand, or not new necessarily, but with your venture with Brandon. And, you know, you did things really uniquely. So creator entrepreneurship is something that everybody is talking about. Everybody wants to be like you. You were one of the, pioneers of this concept of creator entrepreneurship. Talk to us about why it's so important as a founder today to actually have a community and maybe some of like the trade-offs also of being a personality while also running a business.
Yeah. So look, you want a community to sell to. And you want a community to serve. The bigger the community is, the more quality you're going to get. You can't get quality without quantity. People are like, oh, I'd rather one good friend than 10,000 people. Okay, maybe. But if you have one friend in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and you're in Dubai, he can't help you. So you need, I would tell people you need tens of thousands of people to know who you are and what you do. Tens of thousands, like without exaggeration. I don't care when you sell cars, insurance. You're a single mom. You want friends all over the world. You want people to know who you are. And if you're an introvert, you're like, yeah, but that's not me. Okay, well, you're thinking about, you're not an introvert. You're selfish. Because I brought up what you need to do in order to take care of your family. And the first thing you say is, I'm an introvert. Well, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about what you need to do to take care of your family and your success and your future and your charities and whatever it is you're trying to do. like people have plenty of excuses. They got all these labels, these excuses. I can't, I'm shy, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, well, okay, good. How do you know I'm not shy? And how do you know I'm not an introvert? And how do you know all these things are uncomfortable for me?
Mm-hmm.
And, but what I did was I was more committed to the outcome and to not relying on one or two people.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed to build a community. Now, I don't really think about it as community. I don't think about it like that. I know the guy you mentioned earlier lives in Puerto Rico.
John Lee Dumas?
John Lee, yeah. John Lee he's probably the one that like invented the community word. Like he was one of those first guys to do that community thing. Him, Lewis Howes.
Yeah.
These guys, they're such nice people. I hope Lewis and Dumas sees it because they're super nice. I am not that guy. That's not who I am. It's not my brand. I'm a nice guy, but nobody's going to say I'm nice. That's just not who I am. I'm not trying to be them. And so I don't think about, I'm going to build a community. Okay. Instead, I thought about, I'm going to become a bank.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm going to bank money for people. And I'm going to serve a purpose for people. I'm going to help people bank money. So when they go to JP Morgan or Merrill Lynch or Wells Fargo, they're going to ignore you. And I'm not. Okay. I'm going to invest people's money for them and give better returns than if they invested it themselves. I'm not thinking about a community here. I could use that word. The bank did it, the community bank, but it's bullshit. Now, I'm not saying Dumas and Lewis Howes are bullshitting people because I don't think they are. But most people that call themselves something like community bank or friendly Chevrolet, well, it's probably because they weren't friendly and they weren't community, And so there's a lot of sales pitch or marketing in some of that branding, right? I am 10X. I am Grant Cardone. I say exactly what I want to say. I'm very colorful. I'm borderline anti-political, like politically incorrect is a better word. Most of the time I tell dumb jokes and I offend people. I have a t-shirt. I apologize in advance, but it's who I am. And that is my community. Yeah. Now in that community, the downside of it is that community of people that kind of gel with me. It's probably 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Okay. 1/3 of them don't like me. 1/3 of the people that know me absolutely do not like me. They don't like my voice. They don't like the way I talk. There's 2/3 that are in the ecosystem. 1/3 of those are not even sure. They're like, I don't know, man. Shit. If they're with the haters, they hate me. And if they're with me, they're cool. Okay. And then there's a third, man. There's a third of them that'll die for me. And that is if you need to be admired and loved by everybody, well, stick with one or two people. They're going to let you down too, by the way. When you have, we have probably 16 million people that follow me online, and there's probably somewhere between 125 million and 160 million people that see our content every year. I don't know how they feel about me. I have no clue. Yeah. But that wasn't the target. The target was never to get anybody to like me. In the case of the example I gave you earlier, it was to build a bank. And a bank of two people is not much of a bank.
Mm-hmm. And, you're building a bank, so people are trusting you, right? You've got to build trust online. And one of the ways that I feel like you've built trust is that you've really opened the curtain to your family life. We know about your daughters, we know about your wife, we know about your relationship together. And you've really, given us these really personal details about your life. So talk to us about building trust online and the ways that you do it.
Yeah, that wasn't really intentional. That was not in marketing. That was not a gimmick, even though some people say it was. But I'm with my kids all the time, dude. We homeschool our kids. They travel with us everywhere. They work at the company. My wife works with me. It is like, it's not a gimmick. It's not a show. We're not doing that. When I show the plane, I'm not showing the plane to somehow sell a lifestyle. I'm like, hey, look, dude, you can do this. That's the only reason I ever showed the plane. Mm-hmm. Now my guys will chop it up. Video guys will chop it up because they're like, oh, the plane really works. It gets clicks. but it was never the goal was not to build a brand like that. It was not this was not a trick. It's just who I am. When I was 10 years old, my dad died. And no one would let me see inside their house, their backyard, their business. I couldn't get a look at anything. And so I just swore that one day, if I ever made it, I was not going to become a successful person and then close the drapes, if you will, onto what I was doing. So I've had in public just recently a big litigation with an ex-partner, the health guy, John Lesher, defamation lawsuit, $100 million in public and resolved. I had another little litigation in public. Well, I didn't do that because I want my dirty laundry. I did it because I'm like, this is the kind of shit you're going to go through. Why not make it public? Okay. Any money that I have, people ask, you want to know what I'm worth? I'll tell you right now. I looked at my net worth this morning. I know exactly what the number is. And so does the IRS. The people that post there online are the only ones that don't know. So, if the IRS knows, why should I care? Now, the family thing, I don't think family's the way to get people to trust you. I think the only way to build trust online, there's one way to do it and only one way and no shortcuts. It is through frequency of content. If you do not do frequency of content, repetitive, not quantity, repetitively deliver content to a lot of different universes about a lot of different topics, you will not be trusted in the marketplace. And before that, if you produce no content and no one knows you, it is impossible to be trusted no matter how honest you are.
Yeah.
Nobody knows you, they will not trust you. And the better the light on the face, the more they're going to trust you. The darker it gets, the less they're going to trust you. Because I don't know this person. Should I trust this person? So like, if you want to get people to really trust you, you have to keep showing up at the same location over and over and over again.
How involved are you in your social strategy? Like, are you directing things? Like, what does that process look like?
We do a lot of stuff that we're just trying stuff. I mean, we don't know what we're doing most of the time. I would tell you that if there's a scale from 1 to 10, how good we are socially, maybe a 3.
Really? I don't think most people would say that.
Dude, I'm a 3 at best. Okay, maybe a 4.
Yeah.
But look, I've raised $1.7 billion over the internet, sold another $1.25 billion of products. And I would still say, our marketing's terrible. It's slipshod. I look at a guy like Mr. Beast and I'm like, nah, that guy knows how to market.
Yeah.
Okay. I look at Apple Computer. I'm like, okay, they know how to market. Well, what do I know? I've raised $1.7 billion, and JP Morgan has $4 trillion under management. So I haven't done anything yet.
Well, I think you in the business influencer space, you are, top 5. So I think you're crushing it.
Well, it just shows you how low the bar is.
No, it's just new.
Who are the other 4? New. Give me the other 4. Who are the other 4?
Alex Hormozi.
Alex, okay, yeah.
GaryVee.
Yeah.
Codie Sanchez is getting up there. I feel like she's crushing it as a woman. Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Is crushing it as a woman. Russell Brunson, personally, he's my client. I love him. I feel like he should be on that. I feel like everybody learned from him, but he's not on there. Top 5. Top 10, hopefully.
Yeah.
So last question to you. I want to be respectful of your time. What is one message that you want to leave our audience? A message that could potentially outlive you? Like, what do you want to leave this world? Like, what is this message to everyone?
And just, man, do big things, do big things you can, and when you do big things, you're going to be an inspiration to other people. The example people set through their success lives long, long after they're around. And so, I think when I say that, I think of Walt Disney. You might not like what they're doing over there at Disney right now, but I mean, the original Disney, and it's been around 100 years or something. And Steve Jobs. These people are going to, JP Morgan, like that's actually people. Those are people. That's not a brand. And the movies that were made that live on, but like you can live longer than 100 years. I believe I will live. I believe, I've transitioned many, many times in my career. That's the other thing I would tell people: do something big and be proud of it, and let people know you did something big. And number 2, transition. Once you've done something big, go do something else big in another environment. Probably the thing I'm most proud of, other than my marriage and my children, is my ability to morph into another version of myself. And so I would just encourage people to keep morphing and rebirthing, rebirth, just come back as another version of yourself and surprise the world with what you can do.
Mm-hmm. And if you had to give one piece of actionable advice to all my young and profiters tuning in right now, what is one thing they can do today to 10x their life?
Dude, bang. You got to bang. You guys need to go out and bang, get the bag. You get the bag. And once you get that bag, take the bag and go invest it in something. And then go get another bag so that you accumulate assets, not cars and bracelets, but you start, particularly to the women. Women, 83%, I saw this stat recently. You guys are going to end up with all the money. In the next 25 years, women will end up with, I think there's $75 trillion being transferred. It's a massive number.
Wow.
The problem is women do not invest their money. Okay. They tend to keep it over at a bank, or you put it in some kind of retirement account and you have no clue where it's at. So I would tell you guys, quit just leaving money in a place. Find some vehicle. And this is what's created wealth for my family is I worked hard at 2 jobs, took all the money, dumped it into a third vehicle that didn't need me. That's our real estate company. That company is going to be massive one day. It could be $50 or $100 billion company one day. But it all started with me earning money from a hustle and taking that money and then depositing in this other thing and staying broke in between. So I was always broke. Even though I had money, I was accumulating assets. I was broke and I'd go out and hustle again. And whatever you call a hustle, right? It's a side job, a main hustle. Hustle, man, hustle. Don't hustle people, but have hustle, pep in your stride, and be excited about serving people.
Amazing. Grant, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. I know everybody can find you so easily. I'll put all your links in our show notes.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Grant. Great job.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, fam, I got to give a massive shout out to Grant Cardone for spending over an hour with us today on the podcast, for joining me again on the show. He's got so many places to be. He's worth so much money. He probably could have made like $100,000 in this time, but he chose to stay with me on this podcast, which I just really appreciate. I love his energy. It was one of my favorite episodes of the year so far. I know Grant sometimes gets a bad rap, but to me, he's an incredible entrepreneur that has so much advice and he loves to give back. And I just appreciate him. I look up to him so much. What I love about Grant is his relentless commitment to 10x thinking and his unique approach to building confidence through small, consistent wins. Grant's challenge was simple. Find something that you can win at, whether it's mastering a skill, improving your daily routine, or hitting a work goal. Then dedicate yourself completely to that pursuit. Feed the beast. Get better and better. Obsess over excellence. Grant's message was also crystal clear on the sales side. Indecision kills deals. If you hesitate as a buyer, you'll hesitate as a seller. Close with confidence, because people don't want a maybe. They want a salesperson who can guide them to certainty. And like Grant said, a lot of the times the objections are not real. Your customer actually needs belief in themselves. And for creator entrepreneurs, Grant's advice couldn't be more relevant. If people don't know you, they won't trust you. And if they don't trust you, they won't buy from you. Whether you're shy, introverted, or getting started, you've got to be seen. Remember what Grant said? It's selfish not to be seen if you've got something beneficial to sell people. So post with purpose, show up with intent, and build a brand that speaks before you do. This episode is your permission slip to go all in. Stop playing small and feed your obsession. Feed the beast. And get committed to your outcomes, because success is built by committing, then showing up like your life depends on it. If you're feeling as fired up as I am after this conversation, don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with a friend or colleague who's ready to 10x their life and business. Your support also means the world for us. So drop us a 5-star review, a comment on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CastBox. I know this episode got you thinking, so tell us what you're thinking about. I love to read your reviews. And if you want to watch instead of listen, head over to YouTube. This is a really good one to watch, listen to it over and over again. We've got really great chemistry. So if you guys want to watch the video of me and Grant Cardone, head over to YouTube. We've got 60,000 subscribers over there. I'd love for you to be one of them. And a massive thanks to all of my incredible listeners. You are ambitious, you're purpose-driven. You are the reason why I show up every single week to record a new episode. I hope you guys enjoy the show. And if you want to connect personally with me, you can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram at YAP with Hala. Until next time, this is your host, Hala Taha, aka the Podcast Princess, signing off.